What's up guys, it's Karl back with another episode, and today I wanted to kind of go over some of my daily tech essentials. I know I've done previous videos, but this is all around the new upgrades that have come to the studio. I'm solely creating this because I got a new camera upgrade. We're actually recording with it right now. It's the Sony a7S III as I get the box. This has just been a long-awaited upgrade because I'm currently still recording on an a7R III over on the B camera right now. And the main reason why is because I'm up here in Canada. Availabilities of the a7S III is so limited, even though the camera I think is 4 to 5 months old. It came out sometime last year. We are still struggling to find stock. I managed to get one. The second one, which I ordered, is currently on some wait lists. So until that comes, we have two different cameras we're recording with, which I know is frustrating, but that is the reality. This camera though, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because there's been videos on it, like I said, for the past 5 to 6 months, but it is a video focused mirrorless camera. It's 12.1 megapixels, records at 4K up to 120 FPS, which is one of the big upgrades from the R3, which is capped at 60 at 4K. The next big thing is 10-bit color. So we're getting more information. We're actually getting 64 times more info than the R3. The last thing though, which I think was the most important, is Sony's color science. So it's kind of been the biggest bane being a Sony user. I know it's not as good as Canon, obviously comparing to Red, pretty much comparing to every single other camera. I know that Sony tends to lean a bit more greenish, a bit more magenta-y. The a7S III is finally fixing that. It's making the color science a lot better, and they actually just released a Cinetone S color profile, I think earlier last week. So we have it right now. We're running Cinetone S. I will leave my full description of my exact picture profile I'm running down below, but it has gotten so much better compared to both. We'll actually do a quick little swap right now. And we're back on my older a7R III, and I am positive you can see a difference between cameras. I can see that on the monitor right now, and for whatever reason, I struggled to get white balance on my R3s. I'm still struggling with that on my B camera. So until I get two of these, I will kind of be mixing and matching both. You can see here, a7S III, one of the big upgrades is that little flippable articulating LCD panel that now actually goes out. So if you are a vlogger, I think that's pretty huge. The first little accessories that I always grab though for a brand new camera are first off a screen protector. So I just put one on this, and second off a cage. So I just bought a new small rig cage. I did add this little handle on top. Using this for video work makes it so much easier, so much more accessible. You can build things around it. So if you want to add an external microphone, if you want to add an extra monitor, it just makes it so much easier in the studio for film use. So I will leave both of those linked below, but I also want to chat about some new Sony stuff that I got as well. They are, of course, the lenses. Let's switch back to the a7S III so we can get some proper color back. So here they are. We've added two new G Masters to the line. Big shout outs to Sony for sending these over. This is the latest one. This is their new 24mm 1.4. So this is a prime. It shoots a bit wider, but getting that f1.4, you're getting so much bokeh in the background. This has become one of my new favorite lenses. It's just so crisp, so clean. And combining this with the small form factor of any A7 body just makes this the perfect lens to travel around with. This one is the 12 to 24 2.8. So you're getting an ultra wide view. Typically for ultra wide ranges, we have the 16 to 35 sweet spot. This makes it even wider. You can see how spherical or how bulbous the head of the lens is. And even at the 12mm range, you're still getting that constant 2.8 aperture. So silky smooth. Once again, if I was vlogging, I wish I had a lens like this. Of course, I've included some sample shots, so let me know what you think. Those have been the big camera upgrades to the studio, so I'm super stoked to share those. Moving on to the rest of the tech now. This is kind of the pack that I've been rocking lately because I don't travel anymore. The longest distance is now from home to my studio. I don't need anything too technical, nothing with crazy attachments or extra pockets. I simply need something to store my cameras, of course, everything that you see, and my lunch. And this simple pack from HereFest kind of does it. Laptop-wise, I've kind of switched it up and I'm rocking the HP Envy 2-in-1 360. So this is the AMD Ryzen model. So it's got the Ryzen 4500U, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. And because it's a 2-in-1, I can use it as a standard laptop. So I love to hammer out emails on this device. I think the keyboard is great. It's nice and spaced out. If I could make one improvement, it would probably be to the trackpad. I think it could be a tad bit larger. But because it's a 2-in-1 and for the versatility, it kind of becomes my media device later on at night. So this is what I binge YouTube on, and you can fully switch it around if you want to a standalone tablet. You just have to, of course, deal with feeling the keyboard at the back. Not too big of a deal breaker, and for the price, you're getting such a solid chipset. I know that AMD is on an absolute tear. I know that most people that see anything Intel won't even touch it. So if you are team AMD and need a mid-range device, I would definitely check this out. I've been super happy with it so far. Plus, for all of you haters for the dark mode desk setup, that's kind of one of the reasons why I got this. Having a dark computer completes that look. You can't say that it's not a blackout mode computer anymore. Obviously, we have to include some sort of Apple device, and for tablets, I don't think you can beat the iPad range. So this is the iPad Air. It's my personal favorite still to this date. If you're in the market, the iPad Air offers the best value. It has the latest chipset, so the A14 Bionic. That's better than the more expensive iPad Pro. Maybe the only downside, you don't get the ProMotion display with 120 Hz refresh rate, but this is a better iPad. It runs a later chipset and should last you longer. Plus, it comes in all these funky, cool colorways. I've got mine in green. You can get them in blue, silver, space gray, and a rose color off pink for any of you that are interested. Smartphone-wise, in my daily tech, I know that I'm constantly switching, but the current flagship that I'm using right now is the Xiaomi Mi 11. So I actually ran my first live stream on YouTube showcasing when this got released. I have finally used it more since then. And if you did tune into the stream, I know that we were going back and forth on the final price. I think we did nail it at the end for 799 euros, so around that $950 mark. You get some pretty decent specs inside, so it has the latest silicone, Snapdragon 888, 8 gigs of RAM. If you want the 12 gigs, you'll have to go to the Pro model. But the camera module is what really interested me the most. A 108 megapixel main sensor, which has taken some pretty decent shots along with an ultra wide and a macro sensor, which I haven't really used too much. And maybe my secret low-key favorite feature of the device is actually the sound output. I think for media consumption, it's a great device as it has dual Harman Kardon speakers, so you've got one on top. And if you did catch me on live stream, we know that we talked about this bottom speaker. It's actually in the shape of an audio waveform, which I think is super cool. And that's one of those small little details that I think makes this phone super unique. So yeah, that's kind of been my Android daily, and I know as we get so many different devices, this will change quickly to the next up and coming one, so make sure you stay posted. Next off in my pack, I kind of have a bunch of different accessories that I fit into this little pouch here, which is adeptly named as the Slim Pouch from Air SF. So this kind of holds all my little accessories, keeps them organized so they don't go floating around in my bag. I can actually dump them all out here. So first off, little notebooks. These ones are for Muji. I love to jot down notes. I find it way better than typing things down. Just having one of these on hand to jot down notes or ideas for the next YouTube videos is always handy to have. The pen that I use, this is from GroveMade. It's called their titanium pen. For peeps that have watched the channel, I'm a big stationery guy, so this just has this nice heft to it. I know that they're expensive, but if I am jotting down notes, I do want to have something nice. And there is something so enjoyable about spinning the top to get the pen to go in and out. I think there's a specific term for that, but people that need that satisfaction of just doing something with their hand, that is what this does for me. It fulfills that. Next up, we've got my Apple Watch. So when I am not rocking my OG mechanical watch, as I'm a fan, I usually use this mainly for my workouts here in my studio. A lot of you have asked if you're looking for an Apple Watch, which one you should get. This is just the standard SE. Do not grab the Series 6, don't even grab the Series 5. Get the cheaper SE. It pretty much does all of the exact same functionality. You don't have the blood oxygen sensor. You don't have the always on display, but if you can look past that, I think this offers some serious value. I think it's $329, so you're saving close to a third of the price for something that does pretty much the exact same stuff, especially if you need it mostly for your workout game. Hard drive wise, I've actually had to pick another one of these up because we are recording on the A7S III. 10-bit color, it just has more space. I can connect to my computer with one USB-C cable and I can edit fully off of this hard drive, so super dope. They're minimal, I think they're great. Headphones wise, these are the ones that I'm rocking right now. These are the Ultimate Ears, or the UE Fits. These are probably the most interesting headphones that I have used in the past little while. They actually have this jelly-like substance for the ear tips. So I'd argue these are some of the best fitting earbuds, as they create the perfect mold and almost like a vacuum in your ear. Just give them a small little wiggle and they feel really natural because of that liquid, almost jelly inside. I get no ear fatigue. One thing that I'll have to kind of just watch out for, and forgive if there's any earwax on these, if these do break, I'd be afraid of that jelly or liquid substance to go into the earphone, but that thankfully hasn't happened yet. Last little accessory is just a standard SD card for all of my footage, and just eyeing this, it's 64 gigs, and I probably need to upgrade this because we're on that A7S III now. It fills these up so quickly. I haven't made the upgrade to those latest SD cards that Sony offers. Maybe I have to bite the bullet, but these are all of the essentials that fit into this little pouch. And finally, the last little pieces, I'm not gonna really say they're tech, but they're part of my everyday carry. There are two items. Because I work out now all the time in my studio, this Theragun lives with me. These are officially marketed as a muscle warm-up or an injury prevention sort of tool. I kind of swear by them all the time. It feels so good. And if you get to your areas like your neck, you can sound a bit like an android or a robot. Oh. You kind of know what I do on my spare time. And I've kind of plugged these before. These are the Legend of Zelda mangas. I'm currently on the Ocarina of Time. This did come in a limited edition line that came with a special little treasure box, which now acts as Link's little toy box. Speaking of Link, he's something that I see every single day and I carry with me every single day as well. Let me grab him. Link, as of this exact video, is now 4 months old. He just woke up from a little nap, so we are gonna go for a walk. We will say goodbye for this episode and hope you guys enjoyed all of my tech essentials, and I'll catch you guys in one of my next ones. Right, Link? Bye.